Hey folks, this is Dr. Chris Grimbliss with another Always and Forever Making the Most of Your Marriage moment. Glad to be here with you today and excited that we get the privilege of sharing some things with you that we believe will be a help to you and your marriage. And I'm coming to you today from a hotel room in Casper, Wyoming. My wife and I are here together for a conference. We've spent a lot of time traveling this summer. Now, here's the thing about this time that we've spent. You understand, my wife teaches school, and it's been an asset to our ministry. It's been an asset in terms of community relations. But come September, she's actually the end of August, she's all in until the middle of June. She's just crazy busy. So this summer we've traveled a lot, and the result of that traveling is that we have had some time that we can spend together. So I wanted to approach this matter of time together. All that to be said, Michelle and I travel. We find ourselves traveling actually probably more often than we should, but we travel. Now, the hard part of that is being away from my kids and my grandkids and church family. We don't like being away from our church family. And this has been especially true over the last couple of weeks. We've had some of our church family, a couple of folks in our church that are just struggling, and we feel actually we're fussed to a degree that we're not there. All right. The flip side of that is the blessing is that we have time together. We have time for Michelle and I. One of the pitfalls we found in talking to folks about their marriages is that too many marriages run and run and run and run some more. Okay. And they get involved in ministry, they get involved in work, they get involved in jobs, and there's no time for the husband and the wife to be together, just to be together, to have time together, to have time for one another in the marriage. There's something to be said about a husband and a wife having time together. Twice in Scripture, in Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 16, Bible says, redeeming the time for the days are evil. And then again in Colossians chapter 4, we are encouraged by the Lord to redeem the time. Now, part of redeeming the time has to do with the relationships that we have. Okay? Redeeming the time with God means spending time with the Lord. Okay? Redeeming the time with your wife means spending time with your wife. Colossians chapter 4 and verse 5 puts it this way: walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time. Well, your life can get so busy and so wrapped up that your spouse is the one without. Now, I'm not saying that your spouse is unsaved here. That's not the context in which I'm using this verse. What I'm saying is you've created this world of busyness for yourself, and your spouse is on the outside of this busy world that you have, looking in. And that's not a wise situation in a marriage. Okay? So in terms of walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time, are you shutting your spouse out because they don't have any time with you? Okay? When we talk about marriage in terms of redeeming the time, we're talking about the fact that you wisely and gladly invest time in your spouse. I gotta tell you, I love traveling with my wife. I love investing time with my wife. We did the craziest thing this morning. Okay? We went to a shooting range. Okay? And we stood next to each other and we shot pistols. Never did that before. We had a little class, we had some instruction, and then we went out and we did all right. But we had fun. It was something we'd never done, but we did it together. We did it together. Redeeming the time in your marriage means that you can do some things that are outside the sphere of your usual busyness, and you can do them together. Okay? So in other words, this kind of investment can take a lot of different forms. Somebody once said to me this, they use the 2-2-2 formula for marriage. And I said, okay, that's a new one on me. What is the 2-2-2 formula for marriage? And they said, you have 2 dates a month with your spouse. And then you take 2 weekend getaways a year. And then you have a week-long vacation once every 2 years. The 2-2-2 formula. Now, I don't know that any specific formula is a cure-all for all what ails you in your marriage. But you got to understand the principle. It is a matter of making time outside of the busyness, redeeming the time so that you have some time together with your spouse. It's an investment. Okay? We live in a society that has become rat racy. You're running here and you're running there and you got this and you got that and you got the other thing and you're seems like you barely, sometimes you think you barely have a minute to breathe, much less a minute for your spouse. Can't do that. Can't do that. You need the time together. You shouldn't allow your life to revolve around the busyness of your existence. What happens? Well, that busyness then takes up or occupies all your time. And when that busyness replaces time that you should spend or invest in your spouse, well, then it is to the detriment or to the harm of your marriage. You're missing out on something that you can never recover. What is that? It's time. Once the time is past, the time is past. Today's Monday. Great. I will never have this Monday again with Michelle. And you will never have this Monday again with your wife. And the same thing is true for tomorrow and the day after and the day after that and the day after that. You're missing out on time that you cannot recover. So you need to just think a little bit, if you will, about redeeming the time and investing that time in the partner that God has given you for life. If you don't, it's going to harm your marriage. And if you fail in the long haul, it's going to leave you growing old with somebody who's a stranger. When life gets busy, maybe, just maybe, you take a step back. Take time to do whatever with your spouse. Just do it together. Take time together. Redeem the time for your marriage. It is time together. It's time well spent. It's an investment in your spouse. There is no replacing it. You can't redo it. You can't go backwards. But you can make the best of what you have when you have time together. Hey, it's just another making the most of your marriage moment. I hope it's been a blessing to you. Please visit our website. We have a new site. It's alwaysandforever.us. alwaysandforever.us. So please, please, please check it out. There's other devotionals there. There's other material there. And please take the time together. Now go out there and have a great marriage on purpose.